What is the factual information question? Is the factual information question the same as detailed question? Is the negative factual information question the same as except or missing detailed question? How many fill in a table or category questions on average the test taker is going to see on the reading section? Bear with me here as I answer all of these and many more questions related to the TOEFL reading section. Hi there, I'm Janko from TOEFL. In today's tip number 4, we will briefly go over all question types on the TOEFL reading. In the TOEFL reading section, there are 10 different question types. Obviously, some questions are more frequent than others. For example, a detailed question is the most frequent question in both the TOEFL reading and the TOEFL listening. You will see these as little as 2 times per passage, but you can also see them as many as 5. The least frequent question in the TOEFL reading section is a reference question. Recently, our students have reported that they haven't seen this type of question in the entire reading section. In theory, you could see it 2 times per passage, but I doubt that you will even see it once. The rest of the questions fall into this third category, which is a medium frequency questions. That is, 1 to 2 questions of a particular kind per set. ETS, the creator of the TOEFL test, loves this particular division that further categorizes all question types into 3 subcategories, based upon the actual purpose for academic reading. Namely, reading to find information, meaning you are on the hunt for key facts and important information. Reading for basic comprehension, where you are searching for the main idea and important details, understanding TOEFL advanced vocabulary in context, or making the inferences about what is implicitly said about particular topic. And at the end, reading to learn as the hardest question type in the set. We will discuss this further in our future videos when we are going to identify every question type and reveal the strategies for the most effective and efficient path to the correct solution. The TOEFL reading question types are Factual Information Question, also known as a detailed question, Negative Factual Information Question, also known as Except or Not Question or Missing Detail Question, Inference Questions, Rhetorical Purpose Questions, Vocabulary in Context, Reference Questions, Sentence Simplification or Paraphrase Questions, Insert Text or Sentence Insertion Questions. All of these fall into a category of basic information and inference type of questions. And in total, you will see 9 of these per passage. Reading to learn, which is always last in the set, could be a prose summary or simply summary question in 75% of the cases, and fill in a table or category in 25% of the cases. For example, if you have 3 passages on your test day, you will have a total of 54 minutes to complete these 30 questions, which is 10 questions per passage. And in most cases, you will see only summary questions as the last question in the set. On the other hand, if you see 72 minutes, that is an indicator that you will have 4 passages, which will also be mentioned in the instructions prior to the section. And that means that you will most likely see 3 summary and 1 category question as the last question in a set. Now let's say a few sentences about each question type, even though we will dedicate a specific video for every single question covering major points and providing useful strategies with unique examples and in-depth explanations. Ask you to identify facts, details, definitions, or other specific information that is explicitly stated in the passage. This detail is typically mentioned in 1 sentence of the entire 700-word long passage. The trick is how to identify this particular sentence without having to read every single word. You will find the answer to this question on our following videos. Negative Factual Information Questions, also known as Except Questions. This question type asks you to identify what information is true or explicitly stated in the passage and differentiate it from one answer choice that is not true or that is not stated in the passage. That one, the answer choice that is not explicitly stated or not true, is your correct answer choice in this particular question. Oftentimes, students overlook the word not or except written in the capital letters. recognize the true statement in the very first answer choice, select it, and then they move on. That is exactly what you don't want to do. The process of elimination is a very useful strategy in this particular question type. However, keep in mind that revisiting the original paragraph many times is time-consuming, so do not spend more than 2.5 minutes on this question type. Inference questions get their name from the verb infer, which means to deduce or conclude information from evidence and reasoning rather than from explicit statements. This statement defines inference questions as the direct opposite of detailed questions. Where factual information questions are after explicit, inference questions look for implicit information. So not look for just the actual meaning of the written words, but the logical implications of those words. Rhetoric is the art of effective or persuasive speaking or writing, whereas in detailed questions you are asked what specific information is presented in the passage. In rhetorical purpose questions, you are asked why the author has presented a particular piece of information in a particular place in the paragraph or in a particular manner. In that context of what was previously said, why does the author mention a particular statement or quotes a certain person? One of the questions that we may ask ourselves is, does the author express his agreement or disagreement with the hypothesis or idea she is elaborating? Vocabulary questions, or vocabulary in context, or simply vocab questions, test your vocabulary knowledge, but in a way that it is not just asking you the meaning of a word, but it is asking you for the meaning as it is used in the passage. Reference questions ask you to identify the relationship between the pronoun and the word to which the pronoun refers to, from the previous sentence or from the beginning part of the same sentence. These questions are very rare. Sentence simplification or paraphrase question asks you to choose the sentence from the answer choices that has the same essential meaning as the original sentence, the one that occurs in the original passage. Your choice should be the sentence that uses the different wording from the original one, but passes on the same type of message to the reader. Insert text question or sentence insertion is a type of question where you will be presented with a completely new, bolded sentence and asked to plug it into a passage in 1 out of 4 different spots. Namely, this question concerns one paragraph, but sometimes could be spread out onto as many as 3 paragraphs. Prose summary, or simply summary question, are questions where you will be given 6 answer choices and asked to pick the 3 that express the most important ideas in the passage. This question type will test your ability to distinguish the major from minor ideas in the passage. It is the first out of 2 possible questions that will test your learning ability from the given text. If you remember, when you were in elementary school, your teacher would ask you to make a short summary or synopsis of the recently read short story. The same idea applies, but here you will be presented with fixed sentences that represent possible candidates for the summary that you will have to make. Fill in a table question, or more commonly category question, measures your ability to understand and organize major ideas from the passage and then place them in appropriate categories. That's it for today. I hope you have cleared out some of the misconceptions related to the question types. If you like what we do, please vote for us by subscribing to our channel. It will help us a lot in our mission to create useful videos like this one. Cheers!